Hello everyone and welcome to another lesson at English Pod. My name is Marco.
And I am Catherine, and today we're talking about shopping online. So this is an elementary level lesson.
That's right. We are going to shop for things online. So before we get started with this dialogue, let's take a look at one word we have for you on Vocabulary Preview.
Vocabulary Preview.
Okay, the word we're looking at today is eBay.
eBay. Okay, so this is a proper noun. It's an actual website, ebay.com.
That's right. It's kind of like a store on the internet for people who want to buy used things.
Okay, so maybe if you have a TV that you don't want anymore, you go on eBay, you put pictures of it online, and you offer it, and anyone can buy it.
That's right. So you can be a buyer. That means you buy things, or a seller. So you sell things.
So this is interesting. Usually you find used things on eBay, but you can also find new things.
You can. It's kind of like the Chinese website Taobao.
I've actually even seen people selling cars on eBay.
Cars?
Yeah.
I can't imagine buying a car on the internet.
Really? No, they have even very luxurious cars on eBay. So we'll talk about more about online shopping a little bit later on. But now, why don't we listen to our dialogue for the first time, and then we'll come back in just a little bit.
What are you doing?
I'm just looking for a nice pillow on eBay.
You're shopping for a pillow online? That's absurd.
Why? I don't have to leave the house or browse a dozen stores to find what I'm looking for. This way, I just search for it online, quick and easy.
I see. But how do you pay for it? How do you know you aren't going to be ripped off by the seller?
Well, the website handles a point system where if the seller does something wrong, people comment negatively, and then you know that he or she may not be trustworthy.
Wow, that sounds pretty safe. So how do you pay? Do you need a credit card?
You can use a credit card or your debit card. They also let you use the PayPal system, which is really safe and fast. I've never had any problems with someone hacking my information or anything.
Do you think I can find a sweater for my dog online?
You can find anything. Are you sure you want to start shopping online though? Once you step into this world, there is no turning back.
Let's do it!
All right, we're back. So now we have 4 key words for you on Language Takeaway.
Language takeaway.
The first word you might have already heard us use already. We're talking about going on the internet to do something. So we say to go online.
Okay, so by saying that you are going online, you say that you are using the internet.
That's right. So you can shop for something online. Online means the internet, right? On the internet. So we don't say in the internet. We say we're on the internet. For example, he's been on the internet all day long. I want to use the computer.
Okay, so I can say he's been online all day long.
That's right.
Okay, so that is online. And when we go online and we are looking through different websites, or maybe we are looking at items on eBay, we are browsing.
Okay, the verb here is to browse. Now, to browse is to look at, but not carefully. Just to look at with maybe the idea to shop or to buy later.
Okay, so you can use browse for online things, but you can also use it for physical things, like you are in a shop, you are browsing.
That's right. So I can go to a clothing store and I can browse. For example, if the woman at the clothing store says, "Would you like to buy something?" I say, "No, I'm just browsing. I'm just looking."
Okay, very good. And then when they were talking about eBay and how it works, the person mentioned that they have a point system.
All right, a point system. Now, this is something you hear about a lot on websites these days. For example, many websites have different users. And so how do I know which users, or which, in this case, sellers, are the best? Well, we have a point system. More points means better.
Better.
Fewer points means worse.
Right.
You might also call this a star system. So basically, a point system is a way to show who is a very good community member and who is not.
That's right. And that takes us to our next word. So if a person has a lot of points in their point system, that means they are trustworthy.
Okay, trustworthy is an adjective. He is trustworthy. They are trustworthy. This means that I can trust them. Okay?
They are reliable.
That's right. So I don't think they will lie to me. I don't think they will cheat me.
Okay. So a person can be trustworthy. A company can be trustworthy.
Right. Or you could say, he never pays me back. He's not very trustworthy when I lend him money.
Okay. Very good. So 4 key words there. Why don't we listen to them again in our dialogue, and we'll be back shortly.
What are you doing?
I'm just looking for a nice pillow on eBay.
You're shopping for a pillow online? That's absurd.
Why? I don't have to leave the house or browse a dozen stores to find what I'm looking for. This way, I just search for it online, quick and easy.
I see. But how do you pay for it? How do you know you aren't going to be ripped off by the seller?
Well, the website handles a point system where if the seller does something wrong, people comment negatively, and then you know that he or she may not be trustworthy.
Wow, that sounds pretty safe. So how do you pay? Do you need a credit card?
You can use a credit card or your debit card. They also let you use the PayPal system, which is really safe and fast. I have never had any problems with someone hacking my information or anything.
Do you think I can find a sweater for my dog online?
You can find anything. Are you sure you want to start shopping online though? Once you step into this world, there is no turning back.
Let's do it!
All right, we're back. So now we have 3 key phrases that we saw in our dialogue, and let's take a look at those now in Fluency Builder.
Fluency Builder.
Well, the first phrase we have here is related to that last word we had, trustworthy. Someone is not trustworthy if they will rip you off. Okay?
Okay, so it's a phrasal verb, to rip you off, or to rip off.
To rip someone off. That's right. So, they ripped him off. He ripped her off. This means to steal money from someone or to cheat someone.
Right. So maybe if a pair of shoes usually at a store costs $50 and then your friend sells them to you for $200, your friend ripped you off.
That's right. He ripped you off. That's not a good friend. He's not very trustworthy.
All right. So now when they were talking about how safe it is to make purchases online, the person explained that it's pretty safe and that no one has ever hacked his information.
Okay, so this is an important verb that has to do with the internet. To hack information is to steal information on the internet. So someone who hacks, who steals this information is called a hacker. Okay, and this is something that's very bad. We want to go to secure and safe websites because we don't want people to hack our personal information.
That's right. Okay, so the verb is to hack. And finally, in the end, when they were going to look for a sweater for a dog, the person said, you know what, this is great, but are you sure you want to start to shop online? Once you do this, there is no turning back.
Oh, I love this phrase. There's no turning back. So this is, well, you think about someone who's leaving. You say, there's no turning back. You can't go back. You can't return to where you were.
Right.
This is something we say as a warning. So listen, this is your final decision. If you say yes, you cannot change your mind. You cannot say no later.
So you can't turn back later.
That's right. So there's no turning back now.
Okay, no turning back. Very good. Interesting phrases, keywords, and everything. So we should listen to this dialogue one last time, and we'll be back to talk with you a little bit more.
Hello, and welcome to the English Podcast Zone. I'm really excited you're here today because we're diving into a topic that affects almost everyone these days, shopping online. Whether you're buying clothes, electronics, furniture, or even food, the internet has become one giant marketplace. But how do we talk about all this in English? That's what we're going to explore together. Let's start with a simple fact. People love convenience. And what's more convenient than sitting at home in your pajamas, browsing hundreds of products with just a few clicks? That's a perfect word to learn browsing. In English, when you browse, you're looking through things casually. You might say, "I'm just browsing right now," if a salesperson approaches you in a store. Online, it works the same way. You can browse websites like Amazon or eBay without actually buying anything. Speaking of eBay, that's another important thing to understand. Platforms like eBay are not regular stores. They're more like online marketplaces where individuals can sell things directly to other people. That means anyone can be a seller, and that's why you need to learn words like trustworthy. If a seller is trustworthy, it means you can trust them to deliver what they promised. A great way to check if someone is trustworthy online is by looking at reviews or ratings. A seller with a 5-star rating and lots of positive comments is usually reliable. Now, let's talk about a warning phrase that's very common in English, rip off. This is a very useful idiom. If someone says, "That store ripped me off," it means they were charged too much or tricked in some way. Maybe they paid $50 for something that should have cost $10. That's a ripoff. You can also use it as a noun. That price is a total ripoff. Another expression you'll often hear in online shopping discussions is point system. Many websites use a point system or a star rating system to rate sellers or products. The more points or stars someone has, the better their reputation. Learning how to read these systems can help you make smart decisions when shopping in English-speaking environments. Let's not forget one of the biggest concerns when shopping online: security. When people say their information got hacked, that means someone got into their computer or account illegally. The verb to hack means to break into a computer system. If someone hacks your credit card information, that can lead to serious problems. That's why many people use services like PayPal, because they offer more protection than entering your card number directly. So here's a phrase that sums it all up. Once you start shopping online, there's no turning back. That's a very natural English expression, and it means once you begin, you can't stop or undo it. It's usually said in a half-serious, half-funny way, especially when talking about something that's addictive, like online shopping. So today we've learned key vocabulary like browse, trustworthy, rip-off, point system, hack, and expressions like no turning back. These are real English phrases used by native speakers, and if you understand how to use them, you'll sound much more natural and confident in conversation. One thing that makes online shopping so powerful is the ability to compare prices instantly. In a physical store, you'd have to walk or drive from one place to another to see if something is cheaper elsewhere. But online, you can open 5 tabs, search for the same item, and compare in seconds. In English, we call this price comparison. You might hear someone say, "I always do a quick price comparison before I buy anything online." This leads to another useful phrase, get the best deal. A deal means a good price or special offer. So when someone says, "I got a great deal on these headphones," it means they paid less than usual or maybe got something extra, like free shipping. You can also say, "I'm looking for the best deal," when you want to find the lowest price or the best value for your money. Let's talk about shipping for a moment. Shipping is the process of sending goods from the seller to the buyer. You'll often see phrases like free shipping, next day shipping, or international shipping. And here's a phrase you'll hear often, track your order. This means checking the progress of your package online. For example, "I'm tracking my order. It should arrive tomorrow." But what happens when something goes wrong? Maybe the item never arrives, or it arrives damaged. In that case, you'll want to know how to request a refund. A refund means getting your money back. You might send a message to the seller saying, "I'd like a refund, please. The product arrived broken." Another important term is return policy. That's the store's rules about whether or not you can send something back. Some stores have a 30-day return policy, which means you can return your item within 30 days for a refund or exchange. Let's also look at customer service. This refers to the people who help you if there's a problem with your order. You might email or chat with customer service to ask a question or fix an issue. A common phrase is, "I contacted customer service and they resolved the problem quickly." The word resolve means to fix or settle something. It's a very useful verb in professional and customer support situations. You should also know about promo codes. These are special codes you can enter at checkout to get a discount.